hours until the first Bitcoin futures ETF in history is set to go live. Will Bitcoin continue its mommy melting pump, or will Bitcoin fall victim to a sell the news type dump? You do not want to miss this. I'm your host, Melvin Magoo, and boy, do I have some goo for you. With ProShares ETF set to go live in just hours from now, the juice is officially loose. So get the new channel. Make sure to hit that like, subscribe, tune. You miss these absolutely time-sensitive alerts. And as well, if you're interested in any bonuses or any rewards by joining our Ader pool, make sure to check that out below. And as well, if you have any questions whatsoever, this little tool on tylerscrypto.com, you just click that, and it will direct you to the 3 devs for our pool. So if you have any questions, make sure to reach out there. If you want to reach me, you will have to do that either on YouTube, Twitter, or my email, because I will not be getting these emails. Yeah, without any further Magoo, let's dump or pump in. Massively bigly Magoo. What an absolutely very big week that we're about to enter here, as today has been completely quiet. Again, the quiet before the storm, but tomorrow, the first ETF, futures ETF for Bitcoin is set to go live, and as well, it's very likely that we could see another one before this week even ends. So how will that impact price? We're going to be dumping that in a second here, but if we just jump in, driving the gains, investors are excited about the anticipated launch of the first Bitcoin futures ETF. The ProShares Bitcoin ETF will go live tomorrow. Okay, so just a few hours. Should it go ahead, the ETF could supercharge Bitcoin's rally. And there's really nothing else to say in that regard. But one important thing I wanted to point out was that earlier today, there's actually a very big possibility we could be seeing a second ETF, one filed by Valkyrie here. However, it was just updated not too long ago that it's not going to be going live tomorrow, but it actually could launch the next day or even Thursday. But we'll have to wait and see how everything goes. But the ticker symbol BITO will be launching tomorrow, and that is the ProShares Bitcoin futures ETF, which again, this is just absolutely very big. And now there's a lot of debate exactly of what will happen, okay? The bears are in the comments saying, well, it will signal the very top of the market, just like futures launched in 2017 did for Bitcoin. Keep in mind that whole futures launching and all of that mania contributed to Bitcoin going from 10K to 20K. I remember Bitcoin hitting 10K for the first time, and everyone was like going insane. And then within a few days, it doubled to $20,000, and everybody was just like, what is going on? It was an absolutely huge moment. Nothing like that had ever happened before, and so nobody really knew what to expect. And again, guys, one of the things I think is so important about this, we can actually go to BLX for this. If we just take a look at the BLX chart, which takes us all the way back, pretty much gives us the entire history of Bitcoin here. That cycle for Bitcoin, it was pretty much just, I mean, there was some short pullbacks along the way, but for the most part, if you look at this on a long time scale, it pretty much just went straight up, caused the most massive blow off top we've seen, and then down. And remember, the bull market prior to that, we had the double top, and it's something we were talking about and saying was more likely. We were saying that all the way back in September and October of 2020, and a lot of other people were as well. So it's not really anything new. People have been talking about the potential for a double top for about a year now. All of this is very unpredictable, and I do not think that this is going to be as simple as saying, well, in 2017, we got futures, and then that was the top. And here we are in 2021, and we're about to get the first ever Bitcoin futures ETF, and that also marks the top. And again, I think that is exactly not the right way to be playing this. And if we even just rewind back to the summer of this year, if we only go back 2 or 3 months, there were bears everywhere saying, well, that was the end of the cycle. Here we go. We're about to enter a 2-year bear market. What happens is, well, when Bitcoin gets back up to that 21 week, it's going to get rejected and fall into a bear market just like it did last time. But that is exactly the opposite of what happened, okay? Every bear on the planet, and even some people that were bullish, started to believe that we were going to get rejected right here, okay? Because we had never fallen below this 21 week and then continued a bull market. However, this time, that is exactly what has happened over the past 2 or 3 months. That is exactly what has happened. And now we're just within little itsy bitsy centimeters from that all-time high, and the space could not be more exciting. And also, funny enough, not many people outside of crypto are paying attention to it at this moment. Mainly, the only people that are really glued to the charts right now are people that were already glued to the charts anyway, because everyone's addicted to crypto if they're in crypto. With that being said, I think this week is going to be pretty volatile, but I still believe that we're going to have at least a few weeks, as I've been saying, at least 4 to 6 more weeks left of this bull cycle. and I still believe a 6-digit Bitcoin. But the main reason I wanted to highlight that is because there have been numerous times in the past 6 months alone where people have pointed to significant events in the past and told us this is exactly what will happen this time. Remember, a few months ago, it was saying, again, if we get a bounce back to the 21, it's going to get rejected straight into a bear market. That was wrong. At this point, the bears that are, I don't even know why they would be watching this video. Maybe they just like punishment. They've been wrong every step of the way, and they're pretty much just left with their trousers down right now because we are about to be breaking all-time highs. In fact, we just set, less than 24 hours ago, we just set the highest weekly candle close for Bitcoin in history. And at this very second, we are a 5% move away from all-time highs. So obviously, it's pretty hard to make a bearish case at this point, but the bears will always make bearish cases. That being said, I do think that we have very, very, very limited time left of this bull run, okay? I would be surprised if Bitcoin had not already reached its peak of this cycle before 2022 starts, meaning I think Bitcoin will still reach the peak of its price within the next 2 months, okay? So that's not a big window. Basically, what I'm saying is I think Bitcoin has about 2 months left of its bull market. I do think there will be some sort of significant drop within the next few months for Bitcoin. And so again, I think that's why it's important for me, and a lot of other people are doing this as well, but I think it's important that taking profits is not a bad thing, okay? I'm personally not taking the majority of my profits at all yet because I still think we have some time left, but whether or not Bitcoin dumps within the hours after this ETF gets launched tomorrow, whether or not that happens within a few hours or not, I don't think it matters, because what I think is going to be happening over the following week plus is going to be more moves to the upside. And I think that really just summarizes it. I think that's the key takeaway there. It doesn't really matter if Bitcoin dumps within a few hours or not, because yesterday I made a video saying that Bitcoin had to hold 60K and get this weekly close. And then for like 1 hour, Bitcoin went a little bit below 60K, and I had like 50 people in the comments crying about Bitcoin going below 60K. And then within the next hour, it had shot back up above 61K, and they were all silent again. The point is, it will not matter what happens within 1 to 2 hours of the ETF getting launched, but over the next couple of days is what's important. And I think absolutely that that's going to give us a boost, and it's going to give Bitcoin that mania frenzy injection that I think it will get very, very, very soon, that will cause a blow off top. And with that, we pull out these levels here. Right here, this 786 is basically right where all-time highs is, just a little bit below. And 73, I think, is going to be a big target, and as well, right in the mid-80s, 85,000. After that, I think we have a very clear shot to be breaking that 6-digit Bitcoin there. And I just think it's so important to realize that. So basically, I just want to summarize it like this. These next 24 hours, I think, are going to be pretty nutty. They're not going to be super important because I think over the few days after this ETF gets launched, that is when the momentum is really going to start to build. And even though I'm extremely bullish right now, I'm extremely bullish for the next few weeks, I need to pretty much clarify that even though that's the case, I personally am going to be taking profits heavily, probably before this year even ends. So again, I've been saying that for a long time. The time frame of all of this stuff kind of extended a little bit because of the summer lull that we had. But for the most part, all of this is just still playing out exactly as expected. Remember, if we go back, my videos are still on the internet. I called the bottom the day on May 19th, while bears were literally squirting themselves. And before that, myself and many others were watching this like 2.5 year long symmetrical triangle that I remember this day, I remember this week so vividly, that once we finally like got right up to this and we tested this and had that initial breakout, I knew things were about to get nutty, and that was only about 14 months ago. And in the last 14 months, all of you that have been in crypto back here, I'm sure your lives have changed like all of ours have. But I think it's important to be responsible and realize that whatever happens, I think it's going to be happening in this, actually a smaller time window than this, probably about this little peak, this little area of time. And you need to have a plan of what you're going to do, because if Bitcoin does do something like this, and afterwards altcoins pump, are you going to be left just sitting on your hands, or are you going to have a rational, non-emotional approach to investing? If you're new to the channel, make sure to like, subscribe, turn these misses absolutely time-sensitive alerts as well. If you're interested in joining our pool to earn rewards, or if you're interested in any other bonuses, make sure to check out the links and pinned comment below. As well, we had really bad luck for the past 2 epics, but these next 2 are going to be much better, and we actually have some stuff or some software now that can kind of tell us in advance of how we're going to be doing. We had such bad luck over the past 2 or 3 weeks with the pool that the last epic, and then this one specifically, is very lucky. Our luck is very high, meaning we're minting more blocks.